Well, hi, welcome to the Grand Haven Cemetery. Here we are at Mr. Boyden's gravestone, one of the biggest in the Grand Haven Cemetery. And last week I mentioned wanting to do a segment on the news for this after we took Morgan on a tour and kind of told some of the stories of the people that are buried here. So Dad, you've researched Boyden after being at the library. Why don't you share about his story?
Thank you, Abby. This is Charles Boyden the First. He was one of the great lumber barons. He developed wood shingles, and his shingle factories were amongst the largest in the nation.
Oh, wow.
At around the end of the 1800s, 19th century. Now, what's interesting is he died in 1898, and he wasn't put here till like 1901. It took 3 years to get this all set and everything like that. But what was interesting is here's a great man who gave jobs. He had a big factory. He actually had a port, a harbor right here in Grand Haven. Mm-hmm. And as lumber subsided and was deforested, he moved on and he had another plant in Missouri. And it was in Missouri, while he was visiting this plant, that some wood jammed in one of the machines. And at that moment, he lost his temper. And he pushed the worker aside, trying to fix it as if the worker did not know what he was doing. And some lumber jolted out of the machine, struck him, and he died just a couple days later.
So sad.
Anger.
Right.
He did all of these things, worked this hard work.
So hard and dedicated, yes.
Yeah. And then he dies in an anger outburst. And I think that message speaks to us that as we live our life in ministry and whatever we do, is to just have the fruit of the Spirit guide us. Right. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and self-control.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the encouragement today.
Right.
Is
He's
Lord,
a great man who has a moment of what we do. You know, I've had my anger outbursts.
We all have.
All have. So it's just kind of a lesson to look at and think, wow, here's this huge tomb. And
so here's the encouragement for you today, is in those angry outbursts, bring them to the Lord. Ask the Lord to just take that away. And we live life in love into our first day to our last day. So here's a story of a great man. And maybe he didn't die in the greatest circumstances, but his message encourages us all today.
Right.